All right, guys, welcome to another video. And in this video, I've seen people have complaints about yellow is fading out. Maybe they are printing now. Maybe they do nozzle test. Let me just quickly do a nozzle test so you see what I'm saying. So this is me doing a nozzle test. You'll see what I'm saying in a minute. Like maybe when they do a nozzle test like this, they notice that yellow is out, or maybe black is out, or maybe it's red, or maybe it's magenta. In this case, we're just going to focus on yellow and black. When you do a nozzle test and you don't see anything on this line, or maybe you see traces of black, traces of yellow and traces of black, or maybe it's just yellow that has remove as black, usually what causes this problem is difficult to tell because it can be any one of two. Now, if when you did your nozzle test you saw yellow but it's just tiny lines, like it's not like the whole line is empty, you just saw tiny lines of yellow. When you still see tiny lines of yellow, it could be that there's no ink in the tank. So the first thing you want to check is there ink in the tank, right? So you go back to the tank, that is the tank. There's a tank at the back of your printer head. Let me show you. When I say tank, I mean this tank, right? It could be that there's no ink inside this tank. So you have to check these tanks, check these tubes, whether there's inks in these tubes. Do you understand what I'm saying? So check. If there's no ink in the tank, try to fill it up. If the tank is any lower than here, right, try to fill it up. Make sure these tubes enter well into these tanks. So that's stage number one. Now, stage number two, there could actually be ink in the tank, but maybe you did not pull the ink with a syringe. So we have a syringe here that we use, something like this. So you use this size of syringe. Don't use those tiny ones they use for injection. This is about the size they use for cows. Find this. I sell this for like 1,000 naira in case you want to buy. So find this. Put the syringe in each of these lines and pull ink out. When you're pulling ink out, make sure that the ink comes and stays. Not that when you pull ink is going back inside. If ink is going back inside, it might be that the tube is not filled with ink. So, which means that the tube is probably not touching ink. So go there, check why the ink is going back. Ideally, when you pull ink, the way this contraption called a cap or damper, the way it's made is that ink comes and stays inside of that damper. Do you understand? So if you notice that ink is not staying inside this damper, it's not right. Something is wrong somewhere. So go find it, trace the entire line back, make sure there's no leakage somewhere. That could be the reason why you don't have ink in this line, right? So when you are done taking that stage number two, that stage one is there's ink in the tank. Stage two is that you've pulled ink inside this tube. You are sure that the ink is not returning. Ink is on top of the dampers and ink is getting into the cap. Then you now go to stage number two. Stage number three is you want to now be sure that the cap, right, this particular cap is not damaged, right? Now, how do you know the cap is damaged? Look at the edges of this cap. If by the time you put your hand through these edges, you are noticing that it's partially cut, it's slightly lacerated, it's not straight, the edges are not sharp, or you notice that there's a slight cut there, it therefore means that this cap is leaking. And if this cap is leaking, it will not create a proper suction around the printer head, so there's no cover that is blocking the printer head appropriately. And because it's not blocking the printer head appropriately, because of that, you cannot pull ink effectively from that tank. And so the printer head, since you can't pull ink from the printer head using this cable, then ink is not even getting into the printer head enough for it to do a proper nozzle test. So stage number three is that the cap is likely bad. Now, if the cap, you are sure that the cap is not bad, you just bought a new cap, or the cap is not damaged, you have checked it like I said, and the cap is not damaged, you now go to stage number four, which could be that the printer head is being blocked, right? So now, if the printer head is the one that is blocked, there are two kinds of blockages. Is either it is physically blocked, which means that, you have not used it for a couple of weeks, maybe like 2 weeks maximum. If your printer head is still 1 week old, that you have not used it, you are still be able to use it. I remember during the COVID, I didn't use the printer head for like a week and it was still fine. So now, if you have done stage all the way to stage number 4, you can check, oh, is the printer head physically blocked, which means that you have not used it for a few days. If what we're discussing here is that you have not used your machine for more than 7 days, then the chances are that it will get blocked. But if it is that you have not used the printer head for like a day or a day and a half, or you use it every day and the printer head is still not showing nozzle test like this, then the chances are the printer head is electronically dead. Now, if the printer head is electronically dead, then there's nothing you can do. It's not spiritual. There's almost nothing you can do, because the physics involved is too hard for you to say you want to be losing it. The electronics involved is too hard for you. Before you say, okay, you're an electronic engineer, you want to remove the diode, you can't almost do that. So you just have to leave it. So what then do you do? Well, so when you have come to the point where you have done everything I have said and you notice that, oh, the printer head is still not producing ink in these lines, what you will now do is identify which of the nozzles is bad. If it is yellow that is not there, I already have a video for how to use 5 nozzle when it is yellow. I have another video how to use 5 nozzle when it is magenta. I have another video how to use 5 nozzle when it is cyan. I have another video how to use 5 nozzle when it is black. So I already have a video for each of these scenarios. So what you need to do is to go and find the video that corresponds to the nozzle that is blocked. So check my channel. You'll find, like, I have a video about every topic on this machine, and I'm still creating more videos. So don't be bothered. Once you notice that only one nozzle like this is not working, and you have done everything I have said from A to Z, and the printer head is still not printing properly, just abandon it and use the rest of the 5. If it's this one that is bad, abandon it, use the rest of the 5. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now, suppose 2 is bad. I already have a video for how to use 4-color nozzle. So you can even still use 4 colors. So don't panic. Don't panic. If your printer head is not doing nozzle test here, don't panic. A lot of people have used my tips and they are fine. Do you understand? You know, the reason I got popular on YouTube is because I know how to help you use your machine even when something is wrong. Do you understand what I'm saying? So just chill. Let's first find out whether it is not a mechanical fault. It is mechanical when something physical is the reason that it is not working. It is electronical when all the physical has been done and everything is good and it's still not working. Do you understand what I'm saying? So right, guys, I hope this has helped you. If it has, I want you to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, turn on the notification bell. If you have questions, go in the comment section and post your questions. So maybe your question will be the next topic for my video. Until then, I hope to see you again. Bye bye. Take care. Peace.